Hi everyone, and welcome back to BAS Bytes. On today's episode, we'll be taking a look at my favorite automation capabilities within Intersight. Let's go ahead and take a look and start saving some time.
All right, to start things off, let's talk about one of the most frustrating time sinks in day-to-day ops, which is hardware failure, troubleshooting, and just generally dealing with technical issues. So first and foremost, on the summary page here, I've got a couple of servers with the critical health indicators. I'll go ahead and dive down into my inventory page to take a closer look and show you a little bit about our connected TAC feature. So right here I can see my top server has, it looks like a storage disk that has failed. So I'll go ahead and drill down into that server itself, maybe take a look at all of the other alarms to see if there's anything else interesting I should be aware of. Here I can see the health overlay indicating which drive in particular has failed, along with the status of that drive, the exact error that it's encountering, along with some other alarms on the right-hand side. You can see here that my virtual drive is in a degraded state because of that local disk failure in slot 1. So what we have is the ability under the Actions menu to open a TAC case with just a couple of clicks. So all I'll do is click Open TAC Case. It'll open up this little prompt here, and if I press Continue, it'll take all the information about this server and open up a TAC case within the Support Case Manager for me so that I don't need to go through those initial phases of back and forth conversations with the TAC engineer. They will get all the relevant information around my server. They'll have all the details, all the logs necessary to get going with this particular case, and they won't necessarily need me to take any screenshots or upload any logs. So really nice, helpful time saver there. In addition, we have a concept of an auto RMA that's being evolved within Intersight, wherein a failed DIM, failed memory module, will be noted by Intersight and automatically opened a support case around it, and an RMA will be issued. So really cool capability to save you some time. Again, that one right now, the auto RMA feature, is just for DIM failures today. So another nice feature of Intersight around the automation suite is the ability to do unattended firmware upgrades. So what I can do is within the Actions menu, I can click on Upgrade Firmware, specify a location for my firmware package. This is going to be something like a host upgrade utility, and to see here. So I've got a file location. This would be under the HTTP/S menu here for my particular file location. And all you do is specify the location of a host upgrade utility image. If it's a secure connection, obviously provide credentials. If it's on a CIFS share or something like that. Alternatively, you can have this hosted on the utility storage, that being like a Flex Flash on the C series. And with that set, you can toggle whether or not the server will reboot and immediately begin the firmware upgrade or not, and go ahead and launch that. It'll go through the entire upgrade cycle, upgrade all of the components that are contained within that host upgrade utility image for you, and you'll be good to go with an upgraded firmware without having to ever remotely log into a VKVM or anything. So nice feature to have. What's even cooler is that we can go beyond just a basic firmware upgrade and do an unattended operating system installation. Now I'll go into this in further detail in my next video, but just so you know, it's the same sort of process. Under Actions, there's a option in here that we can say that says Install Operating System, and it's the same sort of workflow, just a little bit more in depth for the installation of an operating system, because we have configuration parameters like the IP addressing that'll be used, the credentials for the host, whether it's a bare metal machine running Ubuntu or it's a hypervisor or something. There's always a bit of things you can you can configure, and a kickstart file that may be associated. So this is a little bit more involved. I'll go through that in my next video. But needless to say, what you can note is that Intersight supports the deployment of an unattended operating system install for as many C-Series rack servers as you have in mind. So it can be one server or a whole batch of them. It can go through that process for you, eliminating the need for something like a Pixie server environment in your local infrastructure. Next up, we'll go through some of the more future-looking orchestration capabilities and automation capabilities we have built into Intersight. So The big difference here is that automation usually focuses on point tasks, whereas orchestration will combine multiple automation tasks into a workflow. What we have here today are orchestration tasks or orchestration workflows built around pure storage arrays, so flash arrays. Really, really powerful capability that we've only seen in software like UCS Director in the past. So you can see here, I can go ahead and use this to spin up a new storage host group or remove a VMFS data store. We can take a look at something like maybe creating a new data store and just kind of perceive exactly how this is developed in Intersight. So you'll see these flows are pre-made in this kind of flow fashion that's very similar to UCS Director. Really, really powerful capability we'll be taking a look at in more detail down the road. We also have new solutions coming out which go beyond the data center and actually help you deploy things cross-architecturally. Right now, we just have in this tech preview capacity the ability to deploy a HyperFlex-based SD-WAN edge. So this will allow you to deploy what we call a Cloud vEdge VM to tie into your Viptela fabric, your SD-WAN fabric, through the use of orchestration within Intersight. So again, just really powerful capabilities that we have built into Intersight, and it's just getting better with time. So make sure to take a look at those new features as they're introduced quite regularly into Intersight.
So as you can see, there are a number of ways that you can save time within Intersight through the power of automation. What's cool is that a lot of these features have just been introduced over the past few months, and they just seem to keep coming out with regularity. Pretty awesome stuff. In the next video, I'll be going over one of my favorite bits of automation, which is the unattended operating system install. Until then, see ya.